Okay, is everything okay still?
Everything's great. We're live. Hey, Ryan, how's it going?
Hey, how are you doing?
Great. Everything's good. Just came back from the swimming pool with my children. They're napping, so time to talk about Costa Rica and beaches, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, this is the first time I've been not within driving distance of a beach for a little while, so it's good to be in Colorado.
Yeah, welcome to Colorado.
Yeah, thanks.
Clearly, you're much smarter in Colorado than in Costa Rica. Just
Yes.
look at all those books.
Yeah, well, here the books don't get mold like they do in Costa Rica, so people have a lot more books here.
True. Very true. So cool. What's the deal on beaches? Where's your favorite place to go?
Um, I guess we have a couple ones. Yeah, before we had a kid, we used to like to go to Esterillos. Have you ever been there? There's like Oeste, Centro, and Este. It's on the Pacific coast.
No,
Have you been there before?
I've never been
Esterillos?
there. Is it not too far from Jaco, right?
Yeah,
Is that right?
it's down the road from Jaco, but before you get to Manuel Antonio and Quepos and those places, um, they're pretty like a lot of beaches in Costa Rica. They're pretty unpopulated, I guess you'd say. There's a few like towns nearby, but if you go there, basically you should take whatever you need for the whole day because I think there might be a restaurant in one of them where you could get something, but yeah, like we'd always just park there and take like a couple of jugs of water to rinse off at the end of the day, and it's a really nice place, but it's yeah, it's a little less maybe towards geared towards families just because kids have different needs and things like that, as you mentioned in your blog post recently. So that used to be our favorite. Now I think we kind of go for any place now that has a pool also because Angela, my wife, doesn't really care a lot for salt water, so she prefers pools, and that's also nice for a kid to play around in a pool. So how about you?
Yeah. Well, we have not been to the beach in Costa Rica in a while.
Hmm.
Um, and and when we were planning our most recent trip, my husband said, "Well, I'm not going to be able to go to the beach." And I said, "Well, then we're not going to Costa Rica." So we I think trying to think of a favorite. I think it's Avellanas.
Hmm.
Which I mentioned in one of my most recent posts. And actually, there's really nothing there either. But sometimes I think that's okay with families because you just kind of show up with all your stuff and hang out for the day and head back home.
Hmm.
Um, but I guess it depends on if you're taking a day trip or not, also. Because when we're spending the night, I really like to go to the Barcelo at Tamarindo
Okay.
because the beach there is really beautiful and the food is really great. And there's a really nice kids pool that isn't too deep. And then um, it's really nice not to have to worry about food because there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
Um, I really like that Barcelo a lot, actually.
Hmm. Yeah, I've been to the one at Tambor, but never to the one at Tamarindo. But I think you mentioned that it was good before, so we've been hoping to go there someday.
Yeah, I like the Tambor Barcelo also because I like to take the ferry. And now that they repaired the road, it's like an hour.
Hmm.
No, it's like 20 minutes from the ferry. So it's kind of nice to like get on the ferry and
Yeah.
have your little ride.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I also really like Playa Carrillo up near Samara. Um,
Hmm.
just because it looks like a postcard beach, like it's the perfect crescent with the palm trees and the waves, and I don't know, it just feels like you're really at the beach.
Yeah, yeah. In your recent post, I was surprised. The only one that I'd actually been to was Conchal, which is definitely beautiful. But I've been wanting to go to Avellanas for a long time now because a lot of people put pictures of that. I guess it's a boardwalk or whatever with the trees on both
Hmm.
sides, and it always looks pretty cool. But we just have never made it there. But yeah, that's definitely on the list as well. Yeah.
It's such a sweet beach, and actually, Playa Danta and Dantita that I mentioned in there too are so 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 cool. There's no one there, and it's like really shady. It's a great place for kids. We've taken the kids there, and then they'll just nap under trees in the afternoon, and
Nice.
really cool. So the optimum is it's 5 or 6 hours from San Ramon, and at least at Avellanas, there's not really anywhere to stay. So it's kind of a big trip with little ones. We took Eliana there when she was a baby, but it's a lot easier with one tiny baby than 2 mobile kids.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do you ever visit the Caribbean side?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Oh yeah, no worries. Do you ever visit the Caribbean side of the country?
Yeah, actually, that's what I was just going to mention too. We haven't been there recently, but I think those are actually maybe some of my favorite beaches, just because the water tends to be a bit calmer and a little more like, I guess you'd expect from like a stereotypical tropical beach. The Caribbean or the Pacific side is also beautiful, but it's kind of rockier. There's more tides, riptide, I guess they call it. But the Caribbean side is usually kind of I don't know, just more mellow in general, but also with the water is pretty awesome.
Yeah, what's your favorite beach over there?
I definitely liked Cahuita, the national park one. Yeah. But yeah, pretty much the whole line of beaches there where you can kind of just go inland on the parallel road to the coast and just kind of stop at the next beach along the way. There's, I don't know, it seems like there's 5 or 6 beaches between like Puerto Viejo and pretty close to the border. I guess the actual border is kind of a bit not in that series there, or not in that line, but yeah, there's, all of them are pretty cool. Like I think it's Montenegro, the one that has like the rock in the outside in the ocean. Yeah, and everyone takes a picture there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, I always just remember the sunset there. It was incredible, like the pink and yeah, I love Cahuita. And the bonus about Cahuita is you can stay in the town right there for really reasonably. There's kind of some cool restaurants around there now. And then you're right by the national park. So at certain times of the year, you can see turtles, or we saw pit vipers. And I went there on an unfortunate camping experience with a biology teacher from the University of Costa Rica. And it was like a monsoon rain. We were extremely ill prepared. There were crabs in the tent, and no one in the tent had. But it was gorgeous, and you can snorkel right off. Like I remember just sticking your head in with practically swimming goggles and seeing all kinds of fish and the reef and everything. So,
cool.
It's a pretty sweet area, and pretty undiscovered, untouched.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's off the beaten path in terms of like Costa Rican tourism, just because you have to take quite a bit of a drive to get there, and it's the road's not really as nice, and you have to go through San Jose. So yeah, the Caribbean side, I wouldn't say it's necessarily like a hidden gem necessarily, because a lot of people do go there, but compared to Guanacaste, it's a lot less touristic, right?
Touristy.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That word.
And the other thing I want to say about Costa Rican beach culture, it kind of goes in with a little bit of Costa Rican shopping culture. But one of my favorite things about Costa Rica is that pretty much every single beach has a tiny little store nearby. Or on the way. So you can like grab a cold drink. Like there's a mini super, there's a pulperia. You can grab some like cookies. You might not be getting a meal, there might not be a restaurant, but almost always you can buy something of sustenance along the way. And it's really common for Costa Ricans. I think there's the beach law is that you can't actually build things right on the beach. So some really old hotels and restaurants have been grandfathered into that, but really you can't build things right on the beach. So it's a really big part of Costa Rican culture to like take your own food or a mini grill and your own cooler full of drinks, maybe a little stereo, and pull up to the beach and just like hang out and cook and picnic and play soccer. And it's not really like you go to the beach and then there's tons of restaurants and you spend a lot of money. It's really like a national pastime of just relaxing and something that most everyone can access, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and definitely taking your own food is a kind of a pretty common thing. And I remember we took kind of like a lot of my wife's family, but especially her mom, and she would bring like sandwiches and coffee and like a coffee thermos, and it's an interesting beach thing. Yeah.
Well, because it's the really funny thing to me is like you go to the beach, but you're supposed to maintain your same habits, right? So like get up in the morning, shower, put all your makeup on, get all dressed like it's a regular day, and then you go to the beach, and then like you have breakfast, and then you have your morning coffee, and then you have lunch, and that involves rice. So like there's a way to have rice and beans and the whole thing. I've been at beaches where like we're literally washing dishes because we're saving money on paper and plasticware. And then of course café de la tarde, right? Like you have to drink your afternoon coffee at the beach under the sun. And to me it's hysterical, because like when I go to the beach, I'm like, pack the easiest stuff in a big old bag. Yay, today I don't have to shower or get ready because I'm going to be like laying around all day. Grab some food on the way home. At a restaurant. It's just, to me, it's really different, like the way that I want to relax. And I was just involved in a conversation online about that, of a woman who married a Latin man. And she said, I don't get it, because his family expects me to like cook things when we're on vacation, but that's not vacation to me. And I said, I know. For sure. When I'm on vacation, I don't want to cook. But it's a neat tradition. It's a neat tradition. It's just different than what I think of as the beach.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But cool.
And we should mention, because we were talking about this before, and then I think our time's almost up, but consumption of alcohol on the beach or in public places in Costa Rica is actually illegal. But neither Ryan or I knew this because it's so rampant. So you can enjoy alcohol, beer, different things on the beach, but it is technically illegal. So I think it's important to know that, be responsible and respectful on your consumption when you're at the beach. Pack it in, pack it out.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah.
Anything else you can think of?
Yeah, I guess like I mentioned before, one thing that we kind of got into a habit of doing is taking like if you get like those 5-gallon jugs of water, like when we finish drinking those, or like people have visited us and given us those, like we'll fill those up and like rinse off at the end of the day, because most beaches don't have like bathrooms or showers or things like that. So it's good for getting the sand out of your swimsuit, or you're putting on socks and shoes or whatnot. So it's good to have a couple of jugs of water just to rinse off.
Yeah, that's a great, and actually I'm sort of laughing because, as I told you before, I always remember that I at least your wife, and I've seen other people do this now that I'm older, especially with kids, but does not like to have salt water on her skin. No. It's something bad, right? Like
this is true.
Something bad is going to happen. And so when we went to the beach for the first time with Ryan and Angela, and I don't even know if you were married yet or else you were just newlyweds.
Yeah.
But we got to the beach. I know we rented a car. We took you guys to the beach. Like we all got in the water. And I said, Angela, how come you're not getting in the water? And she says, I forgot my bottles of fresh water. And I can't rinse off. So I can't have, and she says, you can't have salt water on your skin. I'd never heard of it. But then now that have kids, people will say, what do you mean you're not rinsing your child after the beach? So it is good to have jugs of water if that's a big deal for you. For me, not a big deal. Just brush off the sand, whatever.
Yeah. Eventually you'll take a shower again.
Yeah. Yes. Eventually I'll shower. No, I usually shower when I get home. But anyway, we'll have to talk about hygiene habits on one of these episodes, Costa Rican versus gringo.
Oh yeah. That's a good idea. Another hot topic.
Very hot topic. Well, thank you, Ryan. Hopefully we'll see you down here in Denver and film one of these soon at the same screen. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yep, that's the plan. We'll try to work it out somehow.
Yeah, for sure. But I heard you're going to LA for a little while, so enjoy LA, and we'll see you when you get back.
Yeah, thank you, and take care.
Yeah, you too. Pura vida.
Likewise.
Bye.
Bye-bye.